I'll just give it a few minutes. This is quite a quick project. I've showed the card before, but I've not done a live on it. I don't think I have anyway. Hiya, Scott. Have you picked Gabriel up? Is he okay? Or don't tell me he's made you wait. Oh, now Vicky, there's an idea. Christmas Eve, Toby. That sounds perfect. The thing is with Toby's, I find, is that they're a bit hit and miss as to which branch you go to. There's none close to us, so we have to travel out a little bit. I think we found a regular one that we're happy with, but all of them they're all a very different quality, aren't they? And all of them do different, mainly the veg and bits and pieces is all very different. So it's a little bit hit and miss as to what you're going to get. Yes, Karen, I'll do that now. It's coming from it will come from my personal, here we go. My personal Facebook. Here we go. You have to copy and paste it. It's not a clickable link. But I hope that helps. Ah, so you are Vicky. Because if I had one that was local, that was reliable, I'd probably be there every week. Because as you say, yes, they are great value and no washing up. That's the worst part of a Sunday roast, isn't it? Is all the washing up that goes along with it. Right, I think... Oh, great, Scott. Okay. No worries, Karen. I think I'm going to get started. I shouldn't keep you too long tonight. With this one, but let's get started and see how we get on. Mum, I'm glad she's got a full tummy ready for the live. Right, I should never have had fizzy pop. I make that same mistake every time, and now I'm gassy. The reason actually I had the fizzy pop is because for the purpose of this demonstration, actually, I used the bottom of the can for these rings, which you'll come to see. So let's get started. I'm not actually going to make a card this evening. I'm going to put another page in the journal. So we've done a couple up till now, so I'm going to do my third one this evening. It's all, I think I'll have to remove some of the pages because it's getting quite bulky actually. So this is a really simple card. It is very mucky, very mixed media. You have to embrace the grunge on this one. I am going to do a background panel on this one. Obviously that doesn't fit, but I'm going to put a background panel on here, which I didn't do the first time round. Oh, sorry, Karen, you'd probably just have to literally copy it by eye then. Because, yeah, otherwise I don't really know how you put a clickable link on there. Sorry. I'll have to look into that for you. But while you're on the page, if you go to the page, the links are on the Danny Doodles page, which you certainly can click on. So that might be worth trying. Right, so, hello Joe. How are you? Right, so I've got a bit distracted there. Let's put that aside and I'll use that as a guide as to what I'm doing. Let's put the journal aside for now so that I don't get that mucky. And I'm going to be working on, right, so this is the panel that I will be doing my main project on. This is a piece of spare card. You'll see why I'll use that in a moment. It's all down to being frugal. It's significantly larger. But that one's just going to be the spare one. I'll pop that aside for another project. But this is going to be the main panel. And I'm going to be using Brushos in light brown and Brushos in dark brown, which I've already mixed in bottles myself with some distilled water. I think you've seen me do that before. But anyone that hasn't seen me on a live before, they're literally just empty bottles. I decant a couple of scoops of Brushos into the empty bottles. I'll just show you the scoop that I use. Here we go. So it's just a little spoon, little silicone spoon. I decant the Brusho into the bottle. I use this tiny little filter and add some distilled water, and Bob's your uncle. We have some Brusho sprays ready to go. So, and I'll also be using, before that all comes tumbling down, some Pixie Sparkle highlights in Molten Gold. Not a huge amount of that, but it's a lovely subtle little shimmer just to add a little bit of sexiness to a grungy card, right? So let me get, I'm going to put my, now this is very mucky, I'm afraid, but I'm going to work on this. This is just what they use in the nail bars, but it mops up a lot of the mess. So, and then my usual messy mat. So I'm going to start with the light brown. Just give that a shake. I've got a white blouse on today, which is probably not the best idea with working with inks, but what will be will be. So I'm just picking up my card panel, sprayed that down onto my messy mat, and I'm just going to pick up some of the ink. I don't want to cover all of it. I want to cover, I need plenty of space to use the, was that light brown or dark brown that I just used? Light brown, yeah. So I need to leave plenty enough space to use, to put down some of the dark brown as well. And also I want some white areas. So I'm just picking some of that up. And then what I'm going to do with this piece here, because I don't like the wastage, I'm just going to pick up much of what's left on that one as well. So now I can go in and just clean that off. And then I'm going to dry off my panels, so bear with. I haven't personally used them, Karen, no. But I'm sure someone will be able to answer that for you. I'm just mopping off where it's pooled in areas. I'm just picking up some of the pooling because it will be there all night otherwise, waiting for that to dry. So that's pretty much dry, and the same with this one. I'm just going to dry this one off just quickly. The first round doesn't have to be bone dry. Are they the same? They're not the same as the interference ones, are they, Karen? They're intriguing. Right, so now I'm going to go in with the dark brown. Same principle. Just putting that. Is that what I just used? The dark brown? Anyway, let's find out. Let's have a look. Let's go in with our main panel first. That's the same colour, guys, isn't it? Which one did I use first? Oh, it doesn't matter. Just picking some of that up. And I think I'll leave that as it is, actually. And then going in again with this panel. And then I'm just going to dry them off. Again, let's pick up some of that pooled ink. And then the spare one. And so this spare one is literally just that, a spare. Because I don't like all that ink wasted, I pick it up on another A6 panel, and then I'll show you what I do next. Just clean this off. I will be using that again. So what I do is I just make a note on the back of the, this is just a tip, it's not relevant to this project, but just so we don't waste everything every time, all the excess that we don't use, I just make a note on the back of what I've used in that particular project. And then I'll also put a note on here of the next thing that I'm coming to use. Actually, I'll do that afterwards. I make a note on the back of what I used in that project, and then I just pop that away in a stash of loads of panels that I've already made up, ready to use on another project. So the final step for the mucky background is I've got some Pixie Sparkle Molten Gold highlights. These don't appear to really have mica in, they just seem to be, or not much mica anyway, or colour pigment shall I say. They're very much just sparkle, so I'll need to add just some water to this, just to give them a carrier, I guess. And then in the same way as before, just going in and picking some of that up. And I'll do that on that one as well. And that just adds a little bit of something extra to something which is quite grungy otherwise. Right, so let's just clean that up. I think I can get rid of that now. And I'll leave it there for a moment because I've got the rings to do. So I'm just going to dry this off. Is it them ones that you got from the range, Karen? Did you get the Lisa Horton ones from the range? I wouldn't know. We don't have a range near us. We did have one, but it was an absolute dive. And they started, I used to absolutely love the range many years ago. We used to drive quite a distance, a good hour or so, to the nearest one to shop for craft stuff, because they are fantastic for craft stuff, notoriously. But then they opened up one very local to us, and it was an absolute hellhole. Right, so I'm just making a note on of that Pixie Sparkles. There we go. Ignore my tatty handwriting, but now when I come to use that, I'll know exactly what I've used, which is handy if you're blogging or if you're recreating it. Right, so this is the one, this is our main piece here. So the next thing I'm going to do is the rings. So actually, I'll be using this can, but I'm just going to take a glug of drink from it first. For that, I'm going to need to put down, I won't need an awful lot. So I've just put down some more of the dark brown brusher. And then I'll just bring the card in, use the bottom of the can, just make sure it's picked up enough of that ink, and then just find, let me move that out and bring that over, and just press down, imprint it in much the same way that you would a stamp. So just picking more of that up, and then it doesn't have to be in any particular fashion. I don't like it too uniform, so I tend to put a couple together and then maybe one off. Am I working on camera? Oh, don't I know, Vicky. See, we were saying this, wasn't we, on one of our lives, that I think we were saying it anyway, unless I imagined it, that much of crafters' equipment is pretty much, we can find it around the home, can't we? What the tools and equipment, oh, for goodness sake, there's something that keeps dropping off camera here and it's driving me bonkers. Yeah, much of the equipment that we use in crafting and the tools that we use in crafting is stuff that we could find it around the house, and much of it has just been reinvented from that purpose anyway, hasn't it? Right, just getting rid of that. Let's come back to something a little bit better on the eye. And now what I'll do is bring back in my messy mat. Actually, I'm going to chomp the corners off. I did say chomp there, not chop. I was thinking of a corner chomper. This is, I don't know if this brand still exists, but this is an X-Cut large corner rounder. And I'm just going in and rounding those corners off. There we go. And I didn't show you before, but you can really see the sparkle from the Pixie Sparkle there. Lovely. Right. Now I can bring in the Distress Oxide. Of course, it wouldn't be one of my sessions without a Distress Oxide. So we've got Gather Twigs, and I'm just going to go around each of the edges and tie that colour in. Just bring your eye into the centre of the card. Not that there's much to see in the centre apart from what will soon be the sentiment. So just dragging that round. I don't go into the ink pad an awful lot. I tend to use much of what I've already put down on the messy mat until I feel as though I'm not picking much up anymore. It's the safest way of doing it. Otherwise you can tend to get too much ink, and then there's no going back then, is there? Whereas if it's not quite enough, you can always add more. Oh, I do love that place, Karen, but I don't buy craft stuff from there because of their counterfeiting, and you know, there's a lot of small businesses going out of business. Some of the larger businesses going out of business as well, and I'm sure these companies like Temu and their counterfeiting and their copyright infringements certainly are not helping situations. Things like cutters is okay. Right. I buy a whole ton of rubbish from there, Karen. I start off an order and I think, oh, I must make up the £15, and then I end up buying a load of rubbish to make up the £15, and then there's all this anticipation for it to arrive, and when it arrives I just open it up and think, well, what on earth is half of this stuff? Did I actually order this? So I'm going to pop that on the backing card. I'll do that at this stage. I'm not going to round the corners off of the back panel, so I've just found a brown like a milky chocolatey brown piece of card. I've cut that down to about 3mm or so larger around each edge, but that's enough to fit into the journal. So I'm just going to go in and glue that down. Oh great, another glue that I didn't close the lid on. So we know how this is going to go, don't we? Let's have a look, shall we? Right. Oh my gosh. There we go. It's coming out rather funny, like snake-like. I'm just using wet adhesive to stick that down. Do you know what I didn't do? Let's cancel that adhesive out. I didn't do some splats. I was going to do some splats. Why not? It won't take seconds. So I'm going to use some of the white, the light brown brusher. Literally spray that down. Pick it up with some water on a fan brush. And put that down. Oh, it's going everywhere. Oh, I say. That'll do. There we go. Right. That is the golden question, Karen. I mean, I believe I've spoke to the design team about it. That is deadly with the white shirt. I do have a target in mind, but that does all depend on whether or not the sales come in. I have to make a certain amount every 2 months or so to make it feasible. So it's whether or not we can make those sales determines how often I'm going to have a new release. But I do have a target in mind that I would really, really like to achieve. So we'll see. Watch this space. But I'm always working on new designs behind the scenes. Right, back to that. There we go. Just adds a little bit more authenticity. We want this to look like someone sat at their computer desk and, you know, they're at work. They've got their cup of coffee and it's gone over all their paperwork. So the splats add to the authenticity. Either that or your little moggy is climbed all over your keyboard while you're working at home. What do you reckon? There we go. And then I'm going to stick that into the journal. Thank you, Karen. That's very kind. I'm not sure what you mean, Mum, but I'm not going to ask on here. You could tell me, save that one for later. Right, so I'm just going to... there we go, pop that down. There we go, Vicky. We've all got one of them, haven't we? Tuxedo Menace, I love that. There we go. Right, so now for the sentiments, and that's the final step. So I'm using the More Narky Sentiments, and this is I run on Coffee, Chaos and Swear Words. I have used this before. Let me find, that's not my one. Bear with me because I seem to have put my one away. Bear with me, sorry about this. Yep, sorry about this. Right, that's my one, that's my one. Birthday, More Narky birthday, oh my goodness. Oh, that was getting a little bit worrying there. I seem to have mixed up my ones with some new ones. Obviously, there'll be no new releases if I keep opening new packs. Right. Oh, yeah, thank you so much, Vicky. I saw your order come through. I do love the birthday sentiments. Oh, bless your ears, sweetheart. So I did cut down. I didn't want some harsh, bright white for the sentiment. So I found some, I believe it's a scrap of coconut white from Creative Expressions. Did you hear about that? Creative Expressions, that's dreadfully sad as well, isn't it? Yeah, one of the leading brands of the industry all over the world, and yeah, I don't know, the craft industry is really changing. Right, so I'm just going to stamp this straight onto this coconut white card. Just let that drop on and find its own place. Thank you, Maddie. Yeah, do have a look, see if there's anything there that interests you. It may not be for everyone this time round, but it's definitely worth having a little peek. I've had some really wonderful feedback, which, do you know what? It can get quite emotional, actually. It's a bit overwhelming, but it's so nice that you do this because there's a gap for it in the industry, and you know, I was sick of seeing the same things over and over and over again. So I did it for that purpose. But when there's people that enjoy what I do as well, that really is quite something special. And when I see a new name pop up on an order or a new name pop up on social media, it blows my mind that there's someone that supports something that I do. It really is incredible. And I've got so many people already that are just so loyal. I am so grateful. I really, really am so grateful. So this is Brown Ranger embossing powder. Oh, I think I just popped my finger straight through that. It's not stamped wonderfully. That'll do. Can I just say as well, when it doesn't stamp too well, that's not my stamps. That's just me being me. The stamps are fantastic quality. And they're a photopolymer. They're made in the UK, so they're all British made. I have such trouble saying British. There's certain words, aren't there, in the dictionary. British, specific decision. Anyway, I'm going off on one now. So I just chose the brown just to tie in with the theme. Typically I'd use black or white or a metallic, but there's no metallic in this. There's no black. The white would have been too harsh. So hence that decision. And I'm just going to, I've just put the glue lid on and I'll be needing that imminently. So I'm just cutting this down at, let's get rid of the end first. So I'm cutting it down at Coffee, Chaos, and then that leaves and swear words. So I'm just going to get rid of that stamp. So these stamps are available in the shop now, which is exciting. They are in store now. They are £11 on their own, but they are also part of a couple of bundles, I do believe. It's part of a bundle with the predecessor, Narky Sentiments, and then it's part of a bundle of the new release. So the new release would retail at £44 if you was to buy all four individually, but they are in the store at £39, which triggers the free shipping as well. Right. So let's go with I Run on Coffee first. I have no idea what the time is. Oh, it's very early, isn't it, today? So I'm just popping that in the centre there. And then Chaos. I'm just putting these on in random directions. There's no art to this, although different directions. Am I off camera? I am, aren't I? I'm so sorry. There we go. And that's it. Oh, thank you, Karen. Oh, sorry, Maddie. I hadn't realised. This is the whole reason for having this piece of paper here as well. It gives it a cleaner background, but it also gives me a frame to work within. So I don't know how I've been so clumsy, but I'll be more conscious of that. Thanks, Mum. There we go. Another page in the journal. So, as I say, the new release went live today. It's been a success. It's really exciting. It has been a great success and I'm thrilled. So they are in a bundle. The new release, all four stamps are in a bundle. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can find. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just use the ones that I originally nearly did. So we've got More Sending Smiles, which is a follow-up to Sending Smiles. That's a remake of the 2018 Chunky Monkey. So once the 2018 ones go, they're gone for good. We've got Dog Puns, which is really fun. Fantastic to go along with any other doggy images that you've got in your stash. But also, I think it was actually Vicky that mentioned, they're not just for dogs. There's plenty there that could be used for cats as well, or other pets. So Friends Forever, Stay Positive. Lots of these can be other animals as well, but there's some in there that are specifically for dogs, hence the name Dog Puns. But that's part of the new release. I did do this yesterday, but while I've got a bit of time, I'll just go through it again for anyone that wasn't here. Winter Vine, this is my first hand-drawn image stamp, which is really exciting. And I've seen the ladies on the design team make some fantastic samples using this one as well already. Some of the leaves are open, some are closed, so you can colour some in. Some you don't need to bother at all. Entirely up to you how you finish that one off. And then the More Narky Sentiments. They're in a bundle for, would be 44 individually, but they're in shop at 39, which anything over £30 is free shipping. So the £39 bundle triggers free shipping as well. So this one will also be on its own as product of the week this week. So that will be on its own at 20% off in store. So that brings it down to £8.80. That will be in store as product of the week for 1 week until next week's live. And then that will change to something else. What's that, Vicky? The Winter Vine? If so, the one that you did was stunning, and I think it was Joe that also showed a sample using that. Oh, I'm excited for you all to share your fantastic samples. I really am, to share your fantastic samples. It really is the support that I needed to get this going. I could never have done it without you guys. I'm so grateful. So yeah, that is it for this week's live. So I'm going to love you and leave you to get on with your evenings. Yeah, the vine's stunning, isn't it, in silver? It doesn't need an awful lot doing to it. You can do as little or as much with it as you want, can't you, with that one? Yeah, I keep calling it vines. Oh, you've done it as well, Vicky. I think it's where I've called it vines there, and I've thrown you off as well. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, you're a superstar. Thank you, Vicky. Right. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. That will be going up in the store at a discount of 20% off. The Narky Finishing Sentiments. Sorry, the More Narky Sentiments. Until next week, I will love you and leave you. Take care, everyone. And thanks again for joining. Bye.